Hey kids, it's story time! Today we're going to be reading The Wizard of Oz, a classic. So, have a seat, grab your grapefruit juice, and let old Uncle Bacilli Bob spin you a yarn of adventure and oh god, oh no. Remember the video I did like a million years ago about the Frankenstein graphic novel on crack? I mean the novel was on crack, I don't do that. But yeah, it turns out there's one of The Wizard of Oz, too. And like with Frankenstein, you're left with a million questions before you even open it. Like,
why is Dorothy Ash Ketchum? Why is Toto an otter? Why is the Scarecrow an early 2000s white boy gangsta? Why is the Tin Man a metal light bulb with a saw hand and Iron Man's chest thing?
Well, there's only one who can answer these questions, so we're off to see the wizard. Let's dive in with optimism, because hey, the lion looks like a lion. The flying monkey looks like a flying monkey. There's good to be found here. Right? Nope, it sucks. Tap out.
In our solar system, on Earth, in America, in the midst of the Great Prairies, is a place called Kansas. Okay, here we go.
See, we're getting there. Just had to get through the Morgan Freeman documentary is all.
That's where Dorothy lived with her Uncle Henry and Aunt Em. When Dorothy, who was an orphan, first came to her, Aunt Em had been startled by the child's laughter. She still looked at the girl with wonder that she could find anything to laugh at. God, Auntie Em, take some Prozac. It was Toto that made Dorothy laugh and saved her from growing as gray as her surroundings.
I mean, not to burst your bubble or anything, but she kind of already is, because the novel's in grayscale. Okay, sorry.
Uncle Henry never laughed. He worked hard from morning to night and did not know what joy was. Oh God, a tornado! So Toto runs inside and Dorothy runs upstairs after him, while Uncle Henry and Auntie Em wait at the bottom of the stairs, and it makes no sense.
I thought they were, in the cellar? If they're also in the house, why didn't they end up in Oz too? The only plausible answer is that they get sucked out of the house in the tornado and died, but they appear again at the end. Okay, let's continue.
So the house gets lifted up and lands in Oz, and they run outside. Damn, Dorothy, throw it back! What'd that booty do? JK, she doesn't have one. Wait, who's this now? Sorry, Karen, Dorothy isn't the manager. The Witch of the North. That's Glenda? Okay, whatever. So Dorothy takes the witch's boots. Okay. And she sets off down the yellow brick road. After getting sidetracked having a party with some drunken hobos, she stops to rest at the crop fields, where she meets the lead singer of Limp Bizkit himself, the Scarecrow. After they get acquainted and the Scarecrow throws mad shade at Kansas, geez, get wrecked, they set off together. They get to the forest and meet the Tin Man, as you'd expect, and it turns out he has a valid excuse for looking like that. In this version, he started as a human woodcutter who was then murdered by his own axe. No, not with his own axe, by his own axe. It's apparently alive. And he was then revived with robot parts.
So yes, in this version, the Tin Man is RoboCop, which makes a lot more sense when you look at him.
So they move on and meet the lion, who's freaking horrifying, and the gang's all here.
So up until now, this has actually been pretty accurate to the story. That's a bad sign. If the Frankenstein graphic novel taught me anything, it's that these things can only stay normal for so long, and I have a feeling the dam of weirdness is just about to break. And break it does.
They move on and get ambushed by these weird bear things, and they're built up for like 2 pages to be these big, bad scourges of the forest. But RoboCop cuts down the tree bridge and they fall to a gruesome death. Jeez. Then they take a raft down a river for some reason, but it doesn't go well, and ya boy Lil Scarecrow has to be rescued by a talking stork that never gets involved in the plot again. Speaking of the plot, it finally gets back on track when they get to the poppy field. A bunch of field mice try to derail the story even further, but this goes nowhere, and they finally arrive at the Emerald City. They put on steampunk goggles because, oh yeah, that was a thing at one point, and then they meet the wizard to ask all their favors. Of course, the wizard is having none of their crap and demands that they first kill the Wicked Witch.
Wait, crap, this is sounding too much like the Wizard of Oz. Better fix that.
It turns out that the witch is a mummified pirate Elvira with a turban, and she sends a bunch of random animals after them, and RoboCop saws up a bunch of wolves. Then, oh, wow, that's actually really cool. The Scarecrow rose like a terrifying specter? Holy crap. Oh well, no explanation for that. After a bunch of weirdness and RoboCop reading the news,
Yeah.
the flying monkeys finally show up and they frickin' murder the gangsta Spectre, Scarecrow, and RoboCop.
Well, holy crap. So much for half the main cast, I guess. Yo, pour one out for our boys. You know, they may not have been portrayed anything like the actual characters, but by golly, he was a terrifying Spectre, and he sawed animals to pieces. Never forget-y.
Anyway, Dorothy gets enslaved by Hela, the witch, whose diabolical plan is forcing her to clean the kitchen. But Dorothy's like, no, I'm an independent woman! And she melts her with water, like in the Wizard of...
Oh yeah, this is the Wizard of Oz. I forgot, sorry.
So in return, the witch's slaves resurrect the Scarecrow and RoboCop, and Dorothy steals the witch's turban. They get lost on the way back, but they call up the field mice from earlier, and they're like, dude, we're mice. What do you want us to do about it? So Dorothy uses the turban to call the flying monkeys who just murdered her friends earlier, and the monkeys take them back to the Emerald City. So they go to Oz and tell him the witch is dead, and of course he's like, yeah, whatever, leaving you on scene. But this time they're not having it, and the wizard is revealed to be Mr. Magoo. So he basically lies to Scarecrow, Lion, and RoboCop that they now magically have brains, courage, and a heart, totally ignoring the, but it was inside you all along thing that was kind of the whole point of the original story. But he offers to take Dorothy back to Kansas in his balloon.
We already know the balloon flies away, and this is when, real talk, the story really starts to overstay its welcome.
It drags on and on for what amounts to about a quarter of the book. The Scarecrow, RoboCop, and Lion all become kings. They go through another forest and kill more animals. And then finally they go to Glenda, who this time actually looks like Glenda, and she tells Dorothy that she can use the boots to click her heels and go home. And at last, the book mercifully ends.
Now in the original, it was explained at the end that it was all a dream, which makes sense, but here, they act like it really happened. That's all well and good, but when she gets back home, Auntie Em and Uncle Henry are just like, where did you come from? Again, all well and good, but it's weird when you consider the fact that the 5,000 pointless subplots dragged on for weeks. So did they just assume she was dead the whole time? What happened to them when they were in the house in the tornado? Why am I questioning these things when none of the rest of it makes sense? So yeah, that's the Wizard of Oz graphic novel. It's like somebody wrote an entirely different book, but then pages from the Wizard of Oz got mixed in and they published it. Beyond the fact that the subplots are distracting from the main story and go on way too long, it's really not that bad, and the drawings are really good. It would be silly to say it's total crap. And that's today's lesson, kids. Even that which appears ridiculous and weird can still be appreciated. But still, what the f***? As always, thanks for joining me today. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram for more Bacilli beastness. Check out the ultimate Yeeto Cheeto Burrito JQ Designs, link in the description, for legendary merch. And I'll see you Yowza Doodles next time.
Hey, check this out. This is not good.
Oh, hey Lord Simbu, what's up?
Sorry, I can see you're filming. I know you're in the middle of something, but you might want to take a look at this.
Hello, bright people of conscience. Giuseppe Bustain here, and in exactly 24 hours, I am going to be uploading to this channel a video exposing exactly what kind of person Dr. Bacilli Bob is. Dr. Bacilli Bob gets exposed in 24 hours. Stay tuned.
It's already starting. We have to get out of the Pantheon.